Shadow work journal prompts are a great place to start if you're new to shadow work. So a journal prompt is a question that you write at the top of the page, and then you just journal to that question and allow things to come up. Now, as you write your responses to the prompts, it is important that you allow your thoughts and feelings to just pour out onto the pages of your journal without judgment. Now, through journaling, you can be free and as open as you possibly can be, because no one else is going to be reading it. And if you are worried about someone finding it and reading it, you don't have to keep it. You can rip the pages out and burn it. Now, journaling is a great tool because it can get us to have these breakthroughs, these realizations and epiphanies that lead to awareness. And the key is to become aware of our shadow, to make the unconscious conscious. And 90% of transformation is awareness. So once you become aware of something, you've only got a little bit more work left to do to have that transformation. Now, in this video, I'm going to share with you 12 journal prompts that I have carefully selected. I think these prompts are a great place to start with getting to know your shadow. Now, you can use all the prompts if you want, or just pick out the ones that resonate with you. There is no rules to this. Just do what feels right for you. Now, the first one is, was your childhood negative or positive? Outline the most prominent memories that you have of your younger years. So when it comes to doing shadow work, we have to revisit our childhood because our shadow was formed in childhood, and it was formed by the way we were being treated, especially by the people that was closest to us. So in order to get to know our shadow, we have to do some digging into our childhood. Now, the second prompt is, what is your relationship like with your family? Has your connection strengthened since you were a child, or has it gotten worse? So with doing shadow work, we have to have a look at our relationships with our parents and our family, because like I said, our shadow was formed in childhood, and it was formed based on how we were being treated by the people closest to us. How were our parents showing up in our lives? Did they meet our needs? So that's another great prompt to use. Now, the third one is, what is something that sparks a short fuse in you? Why does this bother you so quickly and so much? So when we're having an emotional reaction to something, we're being triggered. That is the clue to what needs to be healed within you. That is your shadow that's coming up. So work with your triggers, work with your emotional reactions, dig into them, question it. Why am I reacting like this? That's how you will get to know your shadow, and then you'll be able to figure out where you need healing. Now, the fourth one is there anyone you hold a grudge against? If so, what is holding you back from letting go and moving on? I used to be a pro when it came to holding grudges. I held a grudge with my own family for over 10 years. And it was just because of the way that they had treated me. But along with holding on to that grudge, I held on to a lot of anger and resentment that wasn't serving me. So that's a great prompt to use if you have someone in your life that you have a grudge with. And if you can work through that and learn to let it go, what will happen is it will free up your energy. It will clean up your energy field, because when you forgive people, you let go of that anger and resentment with it. So it's a really powerful thing to do for yourself. So I recommend using that journal prompt if you have someone in your life that you have a grudge towards. Now, the fifth journal prompt is, do you enforce boundaries with others, or are you the type to let people cross lines? Now, that's an important question for my fellow people pleasers. So I was the people pleasing type, although I didn't have the awareness that I was a people pleaser. And people pleasers do not set boundaries, and they don't know how to say no. And that leads us to being used by other people, taken advantage of, walked all over like a doormat, because people know that you don't have boundaries and you don't say no. So we have to, I learned the importance of setting boundaries with other people. And when you set boundaries with others, you're actually teaching other people how to treat you. And you should be respected by others. And if other people can't respect your boundaries, then they're not worth having in your life. Now, the 6th journal prompt is, are you 100% yourself around others? Do you put on a persona or mask to blend into the crowd? Do you know who you are? Now, I think that's another great question because I have learned the importance of authenticity. It is so much better if you show up as your authentic self than if you're showing up with this fake persona. And that is because if you show up as the true you, the authentic you will attract people in that resonate with the true authentic you. And you will repel the people that don't. But if you're showing up this fake persona, you're going to be attracting in the wrong people. And I think that some people may have this fake persona because they just want to be accepted. You know, they might think if they show up as the true version of themselves, people won't like them or think they're weird. That's all right. You want to reject those people anyway. You don't want everyone to like you. You just want to find people that align with you. And the way to do that is by being the authentic you. Now, number 7 is there anyone in your life that you are competitive with? If yes, what caused this rivalry? So I think that's another great question because I had that issue myself, being competitive with other people. So I was being competitive with my siblings, and I know the reason why I was doing it, but it was like in my head, it was like I have to be more successful than my siblings. I have to do better in life with my siblings just to prove myself. And I realized this ain't serving me, and I had to learn to let that go, which I have now. I don't see it as competition anymore. So that's another great prompt to use if you feel like you're competing with someone in your life. Now, the 8th journal prompt is, do you have any unhealthy attachments or habits? What are you doing to curb them? And why have you continued to entertain them? Now, I think this is another great prompt because humans are habitual creatures. So your habits will also determine how successful you're going to be in life. If you have good habits, they're going to lead you to become successful. But if you have a lot of these bad habits, they're going to be causing problems in your life. You won't be able to become successful. You won't have good things happening in your life. So it's really beneficial to you to become aware of your habits because we have a lot of these habits that actually run on autopilot as well. We're basically beings that run on programs and we're always running on autopilot. And so we're not always aware of what sort of habits we actually have. So that's a great way of getting to know yourself on a deeper level. Now, the 9th journal prompt is, when was the last time you felt jealous of someone? What do they have that you want? Now, jealousy is a low vibrational behavior, but there's a positive aspect to jealousy. If you find yourself jealous of someone else, that means that they actually have something that you're wanting. So work with your jealousy. Why am I jealous of this person? You know, what is it they've got going on? And then once you figure that out, then you know what you're wanting in your own life. Now, the 10th journal prompt is, what behaviors in other people upset me the most and why? Now, that's another great question, and it's along the lines of working with your triggers again. So if someone's behavior is causing you to have a trigger or an emotional reaction, then that's your shadow that's coming up. And it's another way to get to know your shadow on that deeper level. Now, the 11th journal prompt is, what emotions do you tend to avoid? How do you avoid them? Now, understanding your emotions is extremely beneficial for your health. And that is because a lot of us, especially men, end up bottling up and storing certain emotions instead of expressing them. We either suppress or repress and store them in the body. And it has been scientifically proven that stored emotions in the body creates disease and illness. So the key is to learn how to process your emotions and express them. You want to allow yourself to feel whatever emotions come up because feeling is healing. Feeling the emotion is how you release it. You don't want to have the feeling of being sad and wanting to cry, but it's like especially for men, boys don't cry. That's not being manly, you're being a little girl. That's a load of shit. If you're not allowing yourself to cry when you want to cry, you're going to be storing it, which is going to create other problems. So allow yourself to cry if you feel like it. That's you expressing that emotion. Now the last one, number 12, is what events in my life hurt me the most? What reminds me of these times? So the negative events that happen in our life can contribute to forming shadows. So at the start of this video, I said that your shadow is generally formed in childhood, but you can still form shadows in adulthood as well. So I'll give you an example. You could have been in a relationship with someone that cheated on you. And then from that experience, you formed a shadow. So this is why it's beneficial to revisit these events that have happened and to learn how they have affected us and let them go. And the way you let them go is by changing the meaning. So when a negative event happens, we generally give it a negative meaning. Like, this person's done me wrong and I'm some type of victim. And then along with that, you're clinging on to anger and resentment, which isn't serving you. So if you can look at the negative event and give it a positive meaning, like you realize that it served you in some type of way, it was trying to teach you something, there was a lesson there, or maybe it was actually protecting you from a toxic person. When you change the meaning from negative to positive, you're like, oh, it served me. You're able to let it go and be okay with it. So those are my 12 journal prompts. Now think of journaling as energy hygiene. So you have personal hygiene, right? Where you're showering every day and you're washing your hair regularly and washing your face and keeping yourself clean. Well, journaling is like keeping your energy clean, clearing these things out. And your energy field is what's creating your reality. So as you're cleaning your energy field out and you're releasing these things, it's going to have a powerful impact on your reality because your energy is going to shift. So that is why it's so beneficial to use this practice. And like I said at the start of the video as well, there's no rules to it. Just do what feels right for you. For me, when it comes to journaling, I have found that I feel so much better after a journaling session. Like, I really feel like I'm walking away from a therapy session that's free. And also it's just great to get your thoughts and feelings out of your body, out of your system, and just putting them onto paper. It's a way of just clearing it out. And that's why you walk away feeling so much better for it. And as I journal as well, I have my own questions that will pop up as I'm journaling. So if that happens for you, you've got your own questions that are popping up, write that question down as well and journal to that question. That is how you will get to know yourself on this deeper level that will really lead to you having a transformation. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, let me know by hitting that like button or write a comment. And if you like this sort of content, then subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can be notified whenever I drop a video. And I'm going to leave a video here for you to check out that will teach you the signs that your shadow work practice is working. So it's a good indicator to know if you're on the right track and you are actually healing yourself. So check that video out. Hope you have an awesome day. Peace.